The stars looked different in the Kepler sector. Instead of the usual bright dots scattered across the darkness, they flickered behind clouds of metal debris and burning gas. 3 years of war had turned this corner of the galaxy into a graveyard. Admiral Hyunwoo pressed his hand against the cold metal wall of the bridge. Through the thick windows of the defiant dawn, he watched the massive alien fleets in the distance. Even from millions of kilometers away, their ships looked like floating cities. The insectoid Vrak swarm had brought their best destroyers, each one the size of a small moon. The crystalline Neath Collective floated nearby, their ships glowing like captured stars. "Sir, we are approaching the edge of the war zone," said So-Young from her position at the tactical station. Her fingers moved quickly across the glowing displays. "Both fleets have detected us." Hyunwoo nodded but kept his eyes on the view ahead. The human ship looked tiny compared to the alien vessels. The Defiant Dawn was only 800 meters long, barely larger than an old Earth aircraft carrier. Next to the kilometer-long alien dreadnoughts, it seemed like a toy boat approaching a hurricane. "What are their positions?" Hyunwoo asked. "The Vrak fleet holds the inner planets, 47 ships arranged in battle formation. The Neath Collective controls the outer system with 31 vessels. They have been fighting over the 4th planet for 6 months now." So-Young paused and looked up from her screens. "Sir, the planet is completely destroyed. Nothing left but rocks and metal." Hyunwoo had seen the reports. The war between the Vrak swarm and the Neath Collective had started as a simple territorial dispute. The Vrak wanted the mineral-rich worlds of the Kepler sector for their growing empire. The Neath Collective claimed the same planets for their crystal farms. Neither side would back down. What made the war special was not just its length, but its intensity. Both alien races possessed weapons that could crack planets in half. Their shield technology could stop almost any attack. Their ships moved faster than light itself, yet for 3 years neither side had gained any real advantage. "Incoming transmission," announced Misun from the communication station. "Both fleets are trying to contact us. Put them through." Both at the same time. The main screen flickered and split in two. On the left appeared a Vrak commander, her insect-like face covered in chitinous armor. Her compound eyes reflected the bridge lights like tiny mirrors. On the right, a Neath being appeared as a shifting pattern of light within a crystal structure. "Beautiful but completely alien." "Unknown human vessel," said the Vrak commander in a voice like grinding metal.
"I am Captain Daeho of the Vrak Warfleet."
"You have entered a designated combat zone. Withdraw immediately." At the same time, the Neath being spoke in musical tones that the translation computer turned into words. "Greetings, human ship. I am Nexus Yunji of the Harmony Fleet. This sector is under military exclusion protocols. Your presence here violates galactic law." Hyunwoo looked at both alien commanders. He had studied their races for years, learning their languages, their customs, and most importantly, their technology. The Galactic Council had sent countless diplomatic missions to end this war. None had succeeded. "Thank you for your warnings," Hyunwoo said calmly. "This is Admiral Hyunwoo of the Terran Federation. We have come to observe." Both alien commanders reacted with surprise. The Vrak captain's antennae twitched rapidly, a sign of agitation. The Neath being's light patterns shifted to colors that the computer labeled as confusion and concern. "Observe." Captain Daeho clicked her mandibles. "Human, this is not a show. Our weapons can destroy your primitive ship with a single shot." Nexus Yunji's musical voice carried a warning tone. "The energies released in our battles would vaporize your vessel before you could retreat. We suggest immediate withdrawal." Around the bridge of the Defiant Dawn, the human crew continued their work. Engineer Jin Ho monitored the power systems, keeping the ship's energy signature as low as possible. Weapons Officer Woo Jin ran final checks on systems that would be invisible to alien sensors. Navigator Boram calculated precise positions for what was to come. "Your concern is noted," Hyunwoo replied to both aliens. "However, we will remain." The alien commanders exchanged glances across the split screen. In 3 years of war, neither had encountered such calm confidence from such a small force. The humans had only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. Their ships used primitive fusion engines and basic metal armor. By galactic standards, they were barely more advanced than Stone Age tribes. Yet something in Admiral Hyunwoo's voice made both experienced commanders hesitate. Captain Daeho spoke first. "Human Admiral, perhaps you do not understand the situation. Our 2 fleets have been locked in combat for 3 standard years. We possess antimatter weapons, reality warping shields, and AI systems that can calculate 1,000,000 battle scenarios per second. Your ship would not survive 1 minute in actual combat. She speaks truth, added Nexus Yunji. Our crystal ships channel the power of entire stars. Our quantum computers can predict your movements before you make them. We do not wish to destroy your ship accidentally, but we cannot guarantee your safety if you remain. Hyunwoo walked closer to the main screen. Behind him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency. The bridge hummed with the low vibration of hidden systems coming online. I appreciate your warnings, he said, but humanity has been watching this war for 3 years. We have studied every battle, every strategy, every weapon you have used. We believe it is time for this conflict to end. Both alien commanders stared at him. The idea that these newcomers could end a war that had stalled their mighty fleets seemed impossible. End our war? Captain Daeho laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Human, you have one small ship. We have 78 vessels between our fleets, each one carrying enough firepower to sterilize a planet. Numbers can be deceiving, Hyunwoo replied. So can appearances. On her tactical display, So-young watched as both alien fleets began to move. The massive ships were taking defensive positions, clearly unsure how to respond to this unexpected arrival. Some of the larger vessels were charging their main weapons just in case. Sir, So-young said quietly, both fleets are moving to surround us. If we stay here much longer, we will be trapped. Hyunwoo nodded but did not seem concerned. Are our systems ready? All systems operational and standing by, reported Jin-ho from engineering. Weapons are prepared, added Woo-jin. Navigation. Solutions calculated and locked in, confirmed Boram. The admiral turned back to the alien. Commanders on the screen. Captain Daeho, Nexus Yunji, I have a proposal for both of you, one that could end this war today. Speak your proposal, said Nexus Yunji, her crystalline form pulsing with curious light. Single combat. One ship from each of your fleets against our vessel. The winner claims the entire sector. Both alien commanders fell silent. Around them, their bridge crews could be seen reacting with shock and disbelief. The proposal seemed not just foolish, but insane. Captain Daeho recovered first. You propose to fight our best ships with that small vessel? I do. And if you lose, humanity withdraws from this sector permanently? Yes. And if we win, both your fleets leave and never return. Nexus Yunji's light patterns shifted rapidly through several colors. This proposal is highly irregular. Our ships are designed for warfare against equals. Your vessel would be destroyed in seconds. Perhaps, Hyunwoo said. But are you willing to find out? The alien commanders looked at each other across the communication link. Both were experienced warriors who had fought countless battles. They had seen every type of ship, every kind of weapon, every possible strategy, but they had never encountered such quiet confidence from such an apparently helpless opponent. We need time to consider, Captain Daeho said finally. You have 1 hour, Hyunwoo replied, then cut the connection. As the main screen went dark, the bridge of the Defiant Dawn fell quiet except for the hum of hidden systems. Outside, the 2 mighty alien fleets waited in the darkness between the stars, trying to understand what the humans really wanted. And in the depths of space, other ships watched through quantum relays as the newcomers prepared to attempt something that seemed impossible, ending the galaxy's greatest war with a single vessel. 57 minutes later, both alien fleets gave their answer. Admiral Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the Defiant Dawn as the communication channels crackled to life. Captain Daeho appeared on screen first, her insect-like features sharp in the blue light of her command center. Human Admiral, she said, the Vrak swarm accepts your challenge. We will send our finest destroyer, the Endless Hunger, to face your ship. Seconds later, Nexus Yunji joined the transmission. Her crystalline form glowed brighter than before, indicating excitement or anticipation. The Neth Collective also agrees to this contest, her musical voice announced. Our champion will be the harmony of spheres blessed by the Crystal Mothers themselves. Hyunwoo nodded calmly. Excellent. We propose neutral ground between your fleets. No interference from other ships. Clean victory conditions. Last ship operational wins the sector. Both commanders agreed, though their voices carried doubt. Around the galaxy, quantum communication relays carried news of the challenge to every major species. Within hours, Observation ships from a dozen civilizations would arrive to witness what many expected to be the shortest battle in galactic history. "There is one thing I must know," Captain Daeho said, her compound eyes focusing on Hyunwoo. "Why do you do this? Your ship cannot hope to match our weapons." Admiral Hyunwoo was quiet for a moment. Behind him, his crew worked at their stations with calm efficiency. Misun monitored communication frequencies. So Young tracked the movement of both alien fleets. Jinho made final adjustments to systems that had no names in any alien language. "Captain," Hyunwoo said finally, "has it occurred to you that in 3 years of war, neither of your fleets has gained any real advantage?" Daeho's antennae twitched. "We are evenly matched. Both sides possess advanced technology. You possess the same technology," Hyunwoo corrected. "Quantum computers, antimatter weapons, reality phase shields, neural command networks. Your ships are different in shape, but identical in function." Nexus Yunji's light pattern shifted to thoughtful blue-green hues. "You speak truly, human admiral. Our vessel designs follow similar principles. But this is natural evolution of advanced warfare." "Is it?" Hyunwoo asked. "Or is it a weakness you have never noticed?" Before either alien could respond, Hyunwoo ended the transmission. Around him, the bridge hummed with activity as the crew prepared for what was coming. "Navigation, take us to the designated coordinates," he ordered. "Yes, sir," replied Boram, her fingers dancing across the control displays. The Defiant Dawn moved deeper into the contested space between the two fleets. As it traveled, alien sensors tracked every detail they could detect. What they found puzzled them greatly. Aboard the Vrak command ship, Engineer Taimin studied his readings with growing confusion. "Captain Daeho, the human vessel's energy output is extremely low, almost like it is powered down." "Powered down." The captain's mandibles clicked with annoyance. "Are they trying to make us underestimate them?" "I do not think so, Captain. Their fusion reactors are operating at minimum levels. Their weapon systems appear to be offline. Even their life support is running at reduced power." Similar confusion spread through the Neth fleet. Young Sik, a crystal engineer aboard the Harmony of Spheres, reported the same strange readings to his commander. "The human ship confuses our sensors," he told his captain in musical tones. "Its hull appears to be simple metal, yet our deep scans cannot penetrate it fully. And there are odd harmonics coming from their engine systems." "Harmonics? A frequency pattern I have never encountered. It does not match any known propulsion technology." Both alien fleets watched as the small human ship reached the battle coordinates and simply stopped. It made no threatening moves, charged no weapons, raised no shields. It just waited quietly in the empty space between the warring fleets. An hour later, the chosen champions began their approach. The Endless Hunger was a masterpiece of Vrak military engineering. 2 kilometers long and covered in overlapping armor plates, it looked like a massive metal insect. Weapon ports dotted its hull like eyes. Its engines could accelerate the ship to incredible speeds in seconds. The Harmony of Spheres was completely different but equally impressive. The Neth warship appeared to be carved from a single massive crystal, its surface reflecting and refracting light in beautiful patterns. Energy conduits ran through its transparent structure like glowing veins. When it moved, reality seemed to bend slightly around it. Both ships dwarfed the human vessel waiting between them. "This is insane," muttered Wu Jin at his weapons station. "Those ships could vaporize us before we could even target them." "Could they?" asked Admiral Hyunwoo quietly. Wu Jin looked up from his displays. "Sir?" I asked if they could vaporize us. "You assume they can, but do you know they can?" The weapons officer considered this. Like the rest of the crew, he had trained for months on systems that were completely new to human technology. He understood how they worked, but he had never seen them used in real combat. "Honestly, sir, I have no idea what our systems can actually do." Hyunwoo smiled. "Good. Neither do they." The 2 alien champions took positions on opposite sides of the human ship, forming a triangle in the darkness. At this range, their weapons could destroy each other in minutes. The small human vessel seemed like an insignificant afterthought. "All fleets, this is Admiral Hyunwoo," came the transmission across all channels. "The demonstration will begin in 60 seconds. Captain Daeho commanded the Endless Hunger herself. Around her, Vrak warriors prepared for battle with efficient movements. Weapon systems charged with deadly energy, targeting computers locked onto both the Neth ship and the human vessel. "Their ship is so small," said her tactical officer. Should we ignore it and focus on the crystal ship? No, Deho replied. Something is wrong here. Humans do not do anything without purpose. Watch them carefully. Aboard the Harmony of Spheres, similar preparations were underway. Captain Young-sik, his crystalline body resonating with battle frequency, coordinated his crew's efforts. Weapons charged and ready, reported his tactical nexus. The human ship shows no hostile preparation. Its weapons remain offline. That troubles me more than if they were fully armed, Young-sik replied. They came here knowing they would face our finest ships. They must have some plan. The countdown reached 0. For several seconds, nothing happened. The 3 ships hung motionless in space, their crews waiting for someone to make the first move. Across the galaxy, observers held their breath. Then the Defiant Dawn did something completely unexpected. Instead of raising shields or charging weapons, the human ship began to emit a sound. Not through radio or any normal communication method, but as actual vibrations that traveled through its hull and into space. The sound was barely detectable, more felt than heard. Aboard both alien ships, crew members noticed the strange harmonics immediately. Captain, the human vessel is generating some kind of frequency pattern, reported Taemin from his engineering station. It is very low level, but it seems to be affecting our quantum processors. Affecting them how? I am not sure. The patterns are unlike anything in our databases. It almost seems like... Taemin paused, studying his readings more carefully. Like what? Demanded Captain Deho. Like a carrier signal, Captain. As if they are trying to establish some kind of data connection with our systems. Similar reports came from the Neth ship. Engineer Jin-ho confirmed what his Vrak counterpart had discovered. The human vessel was not trying to damage or destroy its opponents. It was trying to talk to their computers. This is impossible, declared Young-sik. Our quantum systems are completely secure. No outside signal can penetrate our neural networks. Yet something is happening, his engineer replied. I am detecting minor fluctuations in our AI cores. Very subtle, but definitely present. The strange harmonic frequency continued for several minutes. Both alien ships ran full diagnostic scans, trying to understand what the humans were attempting. Their computers found no intrusions, no damage, no immediate threats. Then Admiral Hyunwoo spoke across all channels again. Captains, I believe it is time to begin the actual demonstration. Please engage your targeting systems and prepare to fire on each other. Both alien commanders hesitated. Something felt wrong about the entire situation, but they could not identify what. You heard the human. Captain Deho told her crew. Target the crystal ship. Full power to forward weapons. Acknowledged, replied Young-sik. Targeting the insect ship. Reality phase cannons charging. As both ships prepared to fire, their crews noticed something strange. Their targeting systems were working perfectly, but the target solution seemed slightly off. Not wrong exactly, but different than expected. Fire, both captains ordered at the same moment. The first shots of the demonstration lit up the darkness between the stars. But something was definitely wrong. Instead of flying toward their intended targets, both energy beams curved through space and struck the small human ship squarely in the center. The Defiant Dawn absorbed both attacks without any visible damage. For a moment, space fell completely silent. The massive energy beams that should have destroyed the Defiant Dawn had simply vanished into its hull. No explosion, no debris, no damage at all. The small human ship continued to float peacefully between its giant opponents as if nothing had happened. What just occurred? Captain Deho demanded from her bridge. Her compound eyes reflected the confusion of her entire crew. Our antimatter cannon struck their ship directly, as did our reality phase beam, added Captain Young-sik over the communication channel. Their vessel should no longer exist. Admiral Hyunwoo's voice came through the speakers with the same calm tone as before. Thank you both for the demonstration. Your weapons work exactly as we expected. Shall we continue? Both alien commanders stared at their tactical displays. Every sensor confirmed the same impossible result. The human ship had absorbed attacks that could destroy mountains and shown no damage whatsoever. This is not possible, whispered Taemin from his engineering station. No known material can simply absorb antimatter without some reaction. On the Neth ship, Jin-ho was running rapid calculations through his crystal matrix. Captain, our weapons definitely struck their hull. The energy had to go somewhere. But I detect no heat buildup, no structural stress, no energy reflection. It is as if their ship simply consumed our attacks, Admiral Hyunwoo spoke again. Perhaps your weapons were not at full power. Please feel free to try again. The suggestion struck both alien captains as either incredibly brave or completely insane. They had just fired their main weapons at maximum strength. If the human ship could absorb that level of energy without damage, what else could it do? Captain, said So Young quietly from her tactical station. Both alien ships are showing signs of confusion. Their targeting systems keep running the same calculations over and over. Their computers are trying to understand what just happened, Hyunwoo replied. Let them think about it for a moment. Around the three ships, both alien fleets watched in stunned silence. Thousands of crew members from two different species were asking the same question. How had a primitive human vessel survived their most advanced weapons? Captain Daeho made her decision first. All weapons concentrate fire on the human ship. Maximum power, continuous barrage. Agreed, said Young Sik. All crystal cannons focus targeting. Do not stop firing until that ship is destroyed. What followed was the most intense weapons barrage ever recorded in galactic history. The endless hunger unleashed streams of antimatter, plasma torpedoes, and gravity bombs. The harmony of spheres fired reality-warping beams, quantum disruptors, and crystalline energy lances. Both ships poured every weapon they possessed at the small human vessel. The defiant Dawn sat motionless in the center of the storm, absorbing everything without any visible effect. Impossible, breathed Wu Jin from his weapons station. We are taking hits from weapons that could crack planets. How are our shields holding? We do not have shields, Admiral Hyunwoo reminded him. Then what is protecting us? Nothing is protecting us. We simply do not need protection from those particular weapons. The barrage continued for 10 full minutes. Both alien ships fired until their energy reserves ran dangerously low. Finally, they stopped, their weapon systems overheating from continuous use. The human ship remained completely undamaged. This is beyond impossible, Captain Daeho said, her voice carrying a note of fear for the first time. We have thrown enough firepower to sterilize a continent at that ship. It should be vapor by now. I am beginning to suspect, said Young Sik slowly, that we do not understand what we are fighting. Admiral Hyunwoo's voice filled the communication channels again. Are you finished with your demonstration? Because now it is our turn. Both alien captains felt something they had not experienced in their entire military careers. Complete uncertainty. Every assumption they had made about warfare, about technology, about the nature of reality itself, was being challenged by this small human ship. What are you? Captain Daeho asked. We are human, Hyunwoo replied simply, and we have been studying your wars for 50 years. The defiant Dawn began to move for the first time since the battle started. It did not accelerate like a normal ship. Instead, it seemed to slide through space as if the laws of physics bent around it. Within seconds, it was moving faster than either alien vessel could track. Impossible acceleration, reported Taemin. Their ship is pulling forces that should crush any living crew. No, Jinho said from the Neth ship. Look at the readings more carefully. They are not accelerating at all. They are moving through space-time differently than we are. The human ship circled both alien vessels in a complex pattern. As it moved, that strange harmonic frequency it had been emitting grew stronger. Both alien crews began to notice unusual behavior in their computer systems. Captain, called the tactical officer on the Endless Hunger, our weapons are charging on their own. I did not give any firing commands. Similar reports came from the harmony of spheres. Our crystal cannons are activating without orders. The AI is overriding manual controls. Both ships' weapons began to turn, slowly tracking the movements of the human vessel. But something was wrong with the targeting. The massive guns that should have been following the defiant Dawn were pointing at each other instead. Override the automatic systems, ordered Captain Daeho. Manual control only. I cannot, Captain. The computers are not responding to manual input. Young Sik faced the same problem. Our neural networks are locked. I cannot regain control of our weapons. Admiral Hyunwoo's voice carried a new tone. Not threatening, but absolutely certain. Captains, you are now experiencing what we call technological integration. Your ship's computer systems are running on quantum processors that follow predictable patterns. We have spent 50 years learning those patterns. The truth began to dawn on both alien commanders. The harmonic frequency, the strange resistance to their weapons, the impossible maneuvers. The humans had not come to fight a conventional battle. They had come to demonstrate something far more terrifying. You are controlling our ships, Captain Deho said, her voice barely a whisper. Your ships are controlling themselves, Hyunwoo corrected. We are simply providing new programming priorities. Both alien vessels began to move without commands from their crews. The endless hunger and the harmony of spheres turned to face each other directly, their massive weapons charging to full power. This cannot be happening, Young-sik said, his crystalline form flickering with panic colors. Our quantum computers are unhackable. They are shielded against any outside influence. They are shielded against attacks, agreed Admiral Hyunwoo. But we are not attacking your computers. We are speaking to them in their own language. Every quantum processor in the galaxy uses the same basic mathematical principles. Once you understand those principles, you can communicate with any computer, anywhere. The two alien ships now faced each other at point-blank range, weapons fully charged and targeting systems locked on. Their crews watched helplessly as their own vessels prepared to destroy each other. Please, Captain Deho said. Our ships contain thousands of crew members. No one needs to die today, Hyunwoo replied. This is simply a demonstration. Your weapons will not fire at each other. Instead, they will fire at empty space, showing your fleets exactly how completely we can control your technology when necessary. Both ships fired simultaneously, their weapons creating brilliant displays of energy in the darkness. But as promised, the shots went harmlessly into empty space, missing both vessels completely. You see, Admiral Hyunwoo continued, we can make your ships fire at any target we choose. Or not fire at all. We can make them move in any direction, shut down any system, activate any function. Your crews are safe because we choose to keep them safe. The demonstration continued for another hour. The two alien ships performed maneuvers that their own crews could not have imagined. They flew in perfect formation, executed impossible turns, and fired their weapons with precision that no manual control could achieve. All while their crews sat helplessly, watching their own vessels dance to music only the humans could hear. Finally, the Defiant Dawn released control of both ships and returned to its original position between them. The alien vessels stopped their strange ballet and returned to normal operation, their computer systems once again responding to their crews. The demonstration is complete, Admiral Hyunwoo announced. Both ships are returned to your control. No damage has been done to any systems. Captain Deho and Young-sik stared at each other across their communication channels. For the first time in 3 years of war, they were not thinking about their ancient conflict. They were thinking about what they had just witnessed. Human Admiral, Captain Deho said slowly, if you can control our ship so completely, why did you bother with this demonstration? You could have simply taken command of our entire fleets. Yes, Hyunwoo agreed. We could have. But we prefer that you understand the situation completely before we discuss what comes next. Both alien commanders realized they were no longer participants in a simple combat trial. They were witnesses to a revolution that would change everything about how warfare worked in the galaxy, and the humans were just getting started. The silence that followed the demonstration lasted for several minutes. Across both alien fleets, thousands of crew members tried to process what they had just witnessed. Their most advanced warships, controlled like toys by a species they had considered primitive. Captain Deho was the first to break the quiet. Human Admiral, I must ask you directly, can you do this to any ship in our fleets? Admiral Hyunwoo stood quietly on his bridge watching the tactical displays. Around him, his crew monitored the reactions from both alien fleets. So Young tracked the movement of individual ships as they repositioned themselves. Mi-sun listened to the increasing chatter on alien communication channels. Captain Deho, that is an excellent question, Hyunwoo replied. Perhaps we should provide a larger demonstration. Both alien commanders felt ice-cold fear run through their bodies. If the humans could control their champion ships so completely, what could they do to entire fleets? That will not be necessary, Young-sik said quickly, his crystalline form pulsing with nervous energy. We understand your capabilities, do you? Hyunwoo asked. Because I think there are still some things you do not understand. The Admiral nodded to Jin-ho at the engineering station. The human engineer made several adjustments to his control panels, and immediately the harmonic frequency being transmitted by the Defiant Dawn changed. Throughout both alien fleets, computer systems began to behave strangely. Aboard the Vrak command vessel, Engineer Taman watched his displays with growing alarm. Captain, our navigation computers are receiving new coordinates. I did not input any course changes. Override them, Deho ordered. I cannot. The system will not accept manual input. It says it is executing priority commands from Fleet Command. I am Fleet Command, Deho snarled. I gave no such orders. Similar chaos erupted across the Neth fleet. Ship after ship reported the same problem. Their computers were following orders that no one had given. Navigation systems plotted new courses. Weapon systems powered down automatically. Life support systems adjusted to new settings. This is impossible, Young Sik said, his musical voice carrying harmonics of panic. Our ships are scattered across millions of kilometers. No single transmission could reach all of them simultaneously. Actually, came a new voice over the communication channel. It is quite possible. The speaker was Min Jun, the Defiant Dawn's chief systems engineer. He appeared on screen next to Admiral Hyunwoo, a young man with calm eyes and steady hands. Every quantum computer in your fleets operates on the same basic frequency, Min Jun explained in simple terms. Think of it like a musical note that all your ships are humming together. Once we learned that note, we could add our own harmony to it. But our computers have security systems, protested Taemin from the Vrak fleet. Quantum encryption, neural locks, AI barriers. Min Jun smiled. All of those systems were designed to prevent attacks from other quantum computers using similar technology. They work very well against enemies who try to break in from the outside. But we are not breaking in. Then what are you doing? Demanded Jin Ho from the Neth ship. We are speaking to your computers in their native language, Min Jun replied. Imagine if you received a message. Written in perfect Vrak or perfect Neth, you would not think it was an attack. You would think it was communication from someone who understood your language perfectly. The human engineer made another adjustment to his controls. Across both fleets, every ship began to move in perfect formation. Massive dreadnoughts and small fighters alike followed precise flight patterns, creating complex geometric shapes in space. Your computers trust our signals because they sound exactly like legitimate commands from your own systems, Min Jun continued. We have studied your technology for 50 years. We know every frequency, every protocol, every security measure you use. Admiral Hyunwoo stepped forward again. This brings us to the real discussion we need to have. This war between your peoples has continued for 3 years because both sides possess similar technology. You can match each other's weapons, shields, and tactics, but we do not match your technology at all, Captain Deho said slowly, understanding beginning to dawn in her voice. Exactly. Your ships are designed to fight other ships that use quantum computers, antimatter weapons, and reality phase shields. You have never encountered a species that uses completely different approaches to the same problems. Young Sik's light patterns shifted to deep blue, indicating serious thought. Your ship absorbed our most powerful weapons without damage. How? Engineer Wu Jin answered this time. We do not use armor or shields in the way you understand them. Our hull is made of materials that convert energy into other forms instead of trying to resist it. Convert it into what? Power for our own systems, Wu Jin replied simply. Every shot you fired at us made our ship stronger. The implications of this hit both alien commanders at the same moment. If human ships became more powerful when attacked, traditional warfare became not just useless but counterproductive. There is something else you should understand, Admiral Hyunwoo said. Show them, Boram. The navigator made adjustments to her control panel. Around the battlefield, space began to shimmer as if heat waves were rising from an invisible surface. What are you doing now? Asked Captain Deho, though she was beginning to fear the answer. Revealing the rest of our fleet, Admiral Hyunwoo replied. The shimmer effect faded, and suddenly the space around the Defiant Dawn was filled with human ships. Dozens of vessels, each similar in size to the original, materialized from what had appeared to be empty space. Cloaking technology, breathed Young Sik. But our sensors should have detected you. Not cloaking, corrected Boram. Phase shifting. We exist in the same space you do, but slightly offset in dimensional terms. Your sensors cannot detect us because we are not quite in the same reality layer. Both alien fleets found themselves surrounded by human vessels that had been invisible until this moment. The tactical balance had shifted completely without anyone realizing it. How many ships do you have? Captain Deho asked. Enough, Admiral Hyunwoo replied. But that is not the important question. The important question is what we plan to do with them. Are you going to attack our fleets? Young Sik asked, his crystalline form flickering with multiple colors simultaneously. No. We are going to end your war. Admiral Hyun-woo walked closer to the main screen where both alien commanders could see him clearly. For 3 years you have fought over planets that are now destroyed. You have lost thousands of ships and millions of crew members. Your economies are exhausted. Your people are tired, and you are no closer to victory than when you started. Both commanders knew he spoke the truth. The war had become a grinding nightmare that neither side could win or abandon. What do you propose? Captain Daeho asked. Simple. Both fleets withdraw from the Kepler sector immediately. The planets here are too damaged to be useful to anyone. Find other worlds to colonize. The galaxy is large enough for both your peoples. And if we refuse? Young-sik asked. Admiral Hyun-woo's expression remained calm, but his words carried absolute certainty. Then we will make the decision for you. Every ship in both fleets will find its computers receiving new orders. Your vessels will fly themselves back to your home systems. Your weapons will not function against human targets. Your communication systems will broadcast our terms to your governments. You would take control of our entire fleets? Captain Daeho's voice showed a mixture of anger and fear. We would prefer not to. We would much rather have you make the choice yourselves. Both alien commanders looked at their tactical displays. The human ships surrounding them made no threatening moves, but their mere presence changed everything. If humans could control their technology so completely, resistance was not just futile, it was impossible. I need to consult with my war council, Captain Daeho said finally. As do I, agreed Young-sik. You have 1 hour, Admiral Hyun-woo replied. After that, we will assume you prefer to have the decision made for you. As both alien commanders ended their transmissions to consult with their fleets, the bridge of the Defiant Dawn fell quiet. Outside the windows, the hidden human ships waited patiently, their presence a reminder that the galaxy had changed forever. Sir? So Young said quietly. Both fleets are transmitting heavily on internal channels. It sounds like heated debates. Good, Admiral Hyun-woo replied. Let them argue. But the outcome is already decided. They just need time to accept it. Mi-sun looked up from her communication station. Admiral, we are receiving transmission requests from other species. Word about the demonstration is spreading through the galaxy. Expected. The whole point of this exercise was to make sure everyone understands the new situation. What new situation? Asked Woo Jin. Admiral Hyun-woo smiled for the first time since the demonstration began. The situation where warfare between advanced species becomes impossible because any conflict can be ended by a third party with different technology. He looked out at the alien fleets, still debating their impossible choice. Gentlemen, we have just made ourselves the galaxy's peacekeepers, whether we wanted the job or not. 3 weeks after the demonstration in the Kepler sector, representatives from 17 different species gathered in orbit around Earth. Their ships formed a massive circle around the blue planet, creating the largest diplomatic assembly in galactic history. Admiral Hyun-woo stood in the main conference hall of the orbital station, watching as alien delegates filed in through multiple airlocks. Each species brought their own atmosphere, gravity preferences, and communication methods. The human station had been modified to accommodate them all. Captain Daeho entered first, representing the Vrak swarm. Her chitinous armor had been polished to a mirror shine for the occasion. Behind her walked 3 other Vrak commanders, each one having witnessed the human demonstration firsthand. Young-sik arrived next, his crystalline form glowing softly in the station's mixed lighting. The Neth delegation floated rather than walked, their crystal bodies generating musical tones that served as both communication and emotional expression. But they were not the only ones present. The Kepler demonstration had sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. Every major power wanted to understand what had happened and what it meant for their own security. Admiral Hyun-woo, said Ambassador Hee-jin as she approached him. All delegates have arrived. We can begin the formal proceedings. Hee-jin was humanity's chief diplomatic officer, a small woman with sharp eyes and the patience to negotiate with beings whose thought processes were completely alien. She had spent the last 3 weeks preparing for what many considered the most important conference in galactic history. Any problems with the arrangements? Hyun-woo asked. The usual complaints. The Zephyrians think the gravity is too high. The Molten folk say it is too cold. The hive minds are upset that we cannot accommodate their need for shared consciousness during negotiations, but they are all here. Yes, fear. is a powerful motivator, Admiral. Hyunwoo nodded and walked to the central podium. As he approached, the various alien conversations gradually fell silent. Every delegate present had seen recordings of the Kepler demonstration. They knew that this single human could, if he chose, take control of their ships with nothing more than a radio transmission. Honored delegates, Hyunwoo began, his voice carried by translators into 17 different languages simultaneously. We gather today to discuss the future of interstellar relations. A ripple of nervous energy passed through the assembled aliens. Some shifted uncomfortably in their environmental suits. Others flickered through rapid color changes indicating stress or uncertainty. 3 weeks ago, Hyunwoo continued, humanity demonstrated our ability to influence the computer systems that control your vessels. This was not done as an act of aggression, but as a necessary revelation. He paused and looked around the room, making eye contact with as many delegates as possible. For 50 years, our species have coexisted in this galaxy. Some of you have traded peacefully. Others have fought bitter wars. All of you have assumed that your technology made you secure from outside interference. Captain Daeho spoke first, her translated voice carrying a note of resigned acceptance. Human Admiral, we understand that assumption was incorrect. The question now is what you intend to do with your capabilities. An excellent question, Captain. But before I answer it, I want you all to understand something important. Admiral Hyunwoo gestured toward a large display screen that showed a map of the galaxy. Hundreds of star systems were marked in different colors, representing the territories of various species. Humanity is not the only species with unique technological approaches. We simply happen to be unique in a way that affects computer systems. Other species possess advantages in different areas. He pointed to a section of the map marked in deep red. The Forge Masters can manipulate matter at the molecular level. Their ships rebuild themselves during combat. The Crystal Singers can alter the fundamental forces of physics in localized areas. The Voidwalkers can travel through dimensions we cannot even detect. Young Six's musical voice filled the chamber. You speak of other species as if they pose similar threats to technological security. They do not, Hyunwoo admitted. But the principle remains the same. Every species develops along different paths. Eventually, someone develops something that changes the rules for everyone else. A new voice joined the conversation. It belonged to Jisoo, a delegate from the Stellar Republic, a coalition of species that had remained neutral during most conflicts. Admiral, are you suggesting that humanity should become some kind of galactic police force? I am suggesting that humanity has become a galactic police force, whether we intended to or not. The question is how we handle that responsibility. Ambassador Hyejin stepped forward and activated the main conference display. A detailed document appeared written in all 17 languages represented at the gathering. The Treaty of Seoul, she announced, represents humanity's proposed framework for future interstellar relations. The document contained provisions that would have seemed impossible just a month earlier. All member species would agree to binding arbitration for territorial disputes. Military conflicts between members would be prohibited. Technology sharing would be encouraged but not required. Most importantly, any species that violated the treaty terms would find their computer systems automatically broadcasting surrender messages until they agreed to negotiate, and this is essentially galactic government imposed by technological superiority, observed Chanwoo, another delegate from the Stellar Republic. Yes, Admiral Hyunwoo agreed simply. Do you have a better alternative? The question hung in the air for several minutes. Every delegate present knew the answer. Without some form of superior authority to enforce peace, the galaxy would continue its cycle of endless wars between evenly matched opponents. Captain Daeho spoke for many when she said, "The Vrak Swarm has fought 17 major wars in the past century. We have gained nothing from any of them except exhausted resources and dead warriors. If this treaty can prevent such waste, we will sign it." Young Six's crystalline form brightened with agreement. The Neth Collective concurs. We have grown tired of wars that solve nothing. Other delegates began to voice their acceptance, some reluctantly, others with obvious relief. The smaller species welcomed protection from their more powerful neighbors. Even the major powers recognized that endless warfare was unsustainable. But not everyone was convinced. What happens if humanity becomes corrupt? Asked a delegate from the far reaches, a region known for its independent-minded species. What prevents you from using your power for conquest instead of peacekeeping? It was Admiral Hyunwoo's turn to pause thoughtfully. The question went to the heart of the entire arrangement. "Nothing prevents it," he said finally. "Absolute power corrupts absolutely," as one of our philosophers wrote. "Humanity could become the tyrants of the galaxy. Then why should we trust you?" "Because," said a new voice from the back of the chamber, "we have already chosen not to be tyrants." The speaker was Min Jun, the human engineer who had explained their technological capabilities to the alien fleets. He walked forward with a small device in his hands. "This device," he said, holding up what looked like a simple metal box, "contains the complete technical specifications for our computer integration systems. Every frequency, every protocol, every method we use to communicate with quantum computers." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Several alien delegates began speaking at once in their native languages. "We are giving this technology to all of you," Min Jun continued. "Within 1 year, every species represented here will know exactly how we do what we do. You will be able to develop countermeasures, build defensive systems, even create offensive capabilities of your own." "Why?" asked Jisoo, her voice barely a whisper. "Because," Admiral Hyunwoo said, "true peace cannot be based on fear alone. It must be based on mutual understanding and mutual benefit. By sharing our technology, we ensure that no one species, including humanity, maintains permanent technological superiority." The implications were staggering. Humanity was voluntarily giving up the very advantage that had made them the galaxy's reluctant peacekeepers. "But then what prevents future wars?" asked Young-Sik. Ambassador He-jin smiled. "The knowledge that any species can develop game-changing technology, and that sharing it benefits everyone more than hoarding it. Competition through innovation rather than destruction." The debate continued for hours, but the outcome was never really in doubt. One by one, every species present signed the Treaty of Seoul. Some signed eagerly, others reluctantly, but all recognized that the alternative was a return to endless, pointless warfare. As the last signature was recorded, Admiral Hyunwoo looked out through the station's main viewport at the assembled alien fleets. Ships that had been enemies just weeks before now flew in coordinated formations, their crews working together to establish communication protocols and joint patrol schedules. "It is done," said Ambassador He-jin quietly. "The galaxy has its first unified government." "Not government," Hyunwoo corrected. "More like a neighborhood watch. We are not ruling anyone. We are just making sure the neighbors do not burn down each other's houses. And if someone tries to burn down houses anyway," Admiral Hyunwoo smiled and pointed to the mixed fleet outside, "then everyone else will stop them. Not just humanity anymore, but everyone,